Blog Talk Radio.
On May 2nd, 2018, William Tincup posted a list of 6 recruiting shows that you have to listen to if you want to know what a really good show is. This show was not on that list, just so you know, but it should be. That's my opinion, okay? It's my opinion. Anyway, here's what I want to talk about before the show gets going. I've read a number of articles praising women as leaders. And you know why? Because they have more empathy. At least that's what it says. Here's an article from January 2018, just this year. It's called Empathy, a Female Leader's Greatest Superpower. Here's one from November 2017, 6 months ago. Wonder Women use empathy as their leadership superpower. Here's one from 2 years ago in Fortune by one of my favorite writers. The trait that makes women great leaders. Guess what it is? Empathy, right? An article in The Guardian, a left-wing British newspaper, says that listen to this, when somebody around a woman is yawning, she's twice as likely to yawn as a man because contagious yawning is caused by empathy, of course. Here's what else it says. It says it's nearly always the women in social situations who are alert to who's looking lonely and who hasn't spoken and who's in need of a potato chip, right? On a first date, so the article's by a woman. On a first date, she says, it's normal for a woman to go home knowing that she could write a PhD thesis on the guy she just met and that he might struggle to muster a single fact about her. Does that sound true to you? This article, written by a woman, says that women tend to play more of a caring role because they're programmed to care for babies, and men are programmed to hunt. Jerry hunts, but hey, I don't. So, I can't figure out if gender parity in hiring is a goal. If it's a goal, of course it's a goal, but is it a goal because everybody is different or because they're the same? I don't know, but maybe we'll find out on Jerry. Jerry, what show is this?
The Recruiting Animal Show! Animal.
Thank you.
Man, I'm pumped up today. Wow.
Good for you. Okay.
Before we get going, I feel it today.
Great. We got a great guest, Rich Rosen. But before we talk to Rich, I want to thank my sponsors, Martin Snyder, the boss at PC Recruiter, the Swiss Army knife of recruiting software, Nin Tran. Don't make noise while I'm talking. Nin Tran, the COO of HireTool, HireTual. I noticed when he was on last week, or 2 weeks ago, he calls it HireTool. He just doesn't get it, okay? The super-duper sourcing tool. And Nick Livingston, the CEO of Honeit, Honeit, the online interview technology. Jerry, you know what my big learning was this week? You want to know before we get going?
Will you tell me?
Yeah, I learned what smoky eye is. From the initial reports, I thought it was a physical disability, but it's just some kind of eye makeup that women wear. I mean, am I ignorant? Did you know what it was? Rich Rosen, you're laughing. Did you know what smoky eye was?
I knew it wasn't a medical condition.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought that's why everybody got mad.
I suppose it could be like cloudy eye. I mean, I could see the confusion.
Well, if you go into a meeting with a candidate and say, "Hi, I like your smoky eye," are you going to get in trouble? That's a fair.
Nowadays, probably.
Okay. Jerry didn't want to say if he knew. Okay, Jerry, I would assume you knew because you know everything. Okay.
No, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to be dragged into this political crap.
Okay.
What that woman said was filthy and obnoxious, and I don't care who her opponents were. She is a disgusting person.
Okay, you don't want to get dragged in, but you want to make that statement. Thank you.
No, so let's let that be the last word.
Okay. So our guest today has a stupid Twitter address, Rich Rowe, RICHRO Recruiting. And his website it's not a .com website, it's a .co website. Okay, fine.
The website's .com. The email is not, kind of a spam issue.
Oh, is that crazy? Your website is a .com and the email is .co? What, are you trying to confuse people? You're supposed to be a genius recruiter, okay?
If I place tech guys, software sales guys, if they don't figure out .co is an actual, whatever, domain address, then we got bigger issues, and they're probably not going to make the cut.
Okay.
In the software world, it's pretty common.
Okay, I got a question for you. Are you an extrovert, Rich Rosen? I would say, from my limited experience, that you are an extrovert. Am I right or wrong?
It depends on the situation.
What does that mean?
It all depends. I'm not a public speaker, believe it or not. I hate doing public speaking. So, I won't stand up in front of a room and do a presentation.
Okay, but I looked at your Facebook page. There's tons of pictures of you with groups of people. Do you enjoy yourself at parties?
That way, yes, absolutely. That was Pinnacle. That was at the Pinnacle conference. Those pictures you probably saw recently.
You got a million pictures there. Okay. And
wait a minute. Animal. I was looking at his pictures, and I wondered if he was really into paddleboarding, because that's one of my passions.
I do. I got a house in Newport, and so we go there in the summer and paddleboard across the bay every day. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I also noticed Kathy, you're taking me off topic, but I saw this picture of him with his dad on the beach. He's built like a butcher who throws around carcasses all day. He's got giant shoulders and giant arms. Okay.
That's my parents' 50th anniversary, 75, 73. They played paintball and everything. It was great.
Congratulations to them. Okay, but here's my question: is being an extrovert, is that a key to your success?
I guess it all depends on being an extrovert. If having energy and being a little passionate about stuff, I think it helps. I don't think it's a must.
But you like talking. You're not afraid to talk to people. You enjoy it. Is that right?
Absolutely. I love talking to people. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think when I think of extrovert, I think of the guy that's going to be, in front of the room loves giving a big speech. But just, I love being around, people that actually kind of get it.
Well, you're talking
conversations.
Okay, I assume you're talking to people you don't know who you're going to call next, right? You don't know that they're going to get it. That's the idea, but you want to talk to them anyway because you're a talker. That's what I'm getting at. Am I right about that?
That you are right about. You can't have any phone fear, if that's your question. No phone fear.
Okay. What about? Let me ask for your experience. I did my intro about the characteristics of women. What triggered it? Who's making that noise? Jerry, stop it! Who's doing that?
That's not me.
These idiots.
You don't need to yell at me like that, dude. We've covered this a million times. You don't need to yell at me. It's not cool. It's not fair. It's not professional.
Yeah, okay. Okay, look, here's the thing. I read an article that said, women will not apply for a job unless they have 100% of the qualifications, whereas men will apply if they've only got 60% of the qualifications. I've never noticed that women are so modest and nice like all these articles are saying. Are women more modest than men in your experience? You deal with a lot of people.
Not at all. I don't think so. Honestly, in this day and age, though, I mean, I have clients that would pay me extra to hire a woman. So they could have, 40% of the qualifications they'll interview.
Really?
So no.
Wow.
Yeah, not at all.
Anybody else want to comment on that? Anybody else? There's lots of people here. I'll give you a chance. No?
So that's part of your diverse slate. I mean, women are in high demand right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but,
I mean, if I can find like a black transgender guy, I could place him in 2 seconds right now. I mean,
watch your step. Watch your step. We don't want any problems here. Okay, you
Very careful here, Animal. I'd pull out.
Gotta be careful. Okay, watch it. You said, Rich Rosen, you said on Facebook, you agree with Jerry, you said that you answer all calls that are coming into your phone, where a lot of other recruiters say they don't answer the phone unless they know the person, they see the number, and they know who's calling. What's up with that?
Dude, the less they answer, the better for me, better for Jerry.
Damn straight.
I mean, it's a service business. You never know where your next deal is going to come from. And I mean, I've got two awesome clients right now that have given me more deals, more placements in the last like 3 weeks. Guys that only because I returned their calls when they were looking for jobs. You know what? They got into a role. They knew I gave them good advice, gave them some real advice, and took the time with them. It wasn't an hour, it was 10 minutes. But you know what? They remembered and they called me. I mean, I saw those posts. I think that's crazy.
What if being a leader worth following means being human, imperfect, and open to learning? This is Kate Johnson, owner of 123 Limited, and I want to invite you to discover how to care for, support, and even love the people you lead. Join me every Tuesday for the Well-Led Podcast.
Animal?
Wow. Yeah, Alan Fleur?
Just really quick, because I've experienced this in the last 3 weeks. I'm on a real niche search right now, and calling to get referrals from senior people and every good person returns the call, returns the voicemail, picks it up, and I agree with Rich. And actually, Animal, and you'll have to go do the research. Many years ago, there was a study where some students called all the high-end news people to see who would return the call, and they were amazed at who actually called back themselves and who had an assistant or a junior person call.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead, Rich.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, I'm more likely to get a call back from the CRO or CEO a lot of times than you are the middle management, middle director guy, or a dopey rep, just because, the guys at the top get it. I mean, that's why, honestly, I do sales guys. My average salary last year was like $145K base salary. And, the higher you go, quite honestly, I think the easier this job gets. Because they don't think you're a scam. They understand they can evaluate in 2 seconds.
Okay, but Alan raised. Well, listen to this. Alan raised a different issue. He's talking about people who get back to you after you leave a voicemail.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Those guys get back to you.
Pick it up.
Yeah.
They'll pick it. Yesterday, I had 3 high-level people all pick up the phone and go, "I'm sorry, I'm in a meeting. I'll call you back in 20 minutes."
Mm-hmm. Okay. Does anybody on? Go ahead, Rich. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, that's what I'm saying. These high-end guys, they get back to you. The C-level guys will get back to you as, maybe not the first call, but they do get back to you. And it's not every time. I mean, it's not every time you email, every time you call them, but they will get back to you eventually. But it's funny.
Also, guys, it's not, in my opinion, it's not so much about who's going to call you back. I've had the same phone number for 25 years. I don't know who might dig up my business card from 1995 and say, "Hey, Jerry, what's going on?" I can't take that. I can't take that risk. Who wouldn't answer their phone?
You're in a phone
business. Phone? Are you kidding me?
Except for the people who live on email. This is a phone business. Why would you not answer it?
Okay, well, hold on. Here's a guy. I read it on Quora. His name is Mike Engelkamp. He made it public. He said, as a recruiter, I don't answer calls from numbers I do not recognize. I get a lot of calls from third-party companies. He doesn't want to take those sales calls.
That's stupid.
No, dummy.
I take them.
Yeah. What's what happens? You take it, and you pick up the phone, you find that it's some dope that's trying to sell you something, or that it's just a third-party guy doing whatever. You think no, and hang up. But you know what it is about. You move on. It takes 2 seconds.
I have a great real-time example. While we've been talking, a third-party guy who I had a conversation with and is one of the few that gets it. I have never paid him. I've never wrote him a check, and he But we've done candidate trading. We've hired one of the people he referred to me. He just sent me an email and said, I got a couple of needs here. If you happen to come across anybody, let me know. I'll keep my eyes open. What do you need?
There you go.
There's a relationship.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, right now there's an election going on here. I get a lot of calls from, the Progressive Conservative Party. I don't want to talk to them anyway.
You hang up.
Okay. There's a lot of people on the line, and since there's so many people saying they don't answer the phone, there must be someone on the line who doesn't answer the phone. Does anybody want to comment on that before take the opposite side before we move on? Anybody with guts? No. Okay.
You're asking for people to volunteer to speak and tell that they don't pick up the phone. It's like
yeah. This guy announced it on Quora.
They're not comfortable with talking in the first place.
They have to pick up the phone to do it, though.
Ed Han, he also said in public on Quora he doesn't pick up the phone. Okay, there's tons of people on Facebook who have said they don't pick up the phone, and we'll segue into the next issue. A guy named Brett Fay on Facebook said cold calling has lost its ROI as the primary means for first contact. He said, I don't answer calls from numbers I don't recognize. While the phone is still important, other technology is more efficient for first contact and scheduling a call. Texting still works wonders, though, okay? So this guy likes texting, but phone, forget it. What do you say, Rich Rosen?
I say that is crazy. The more recruiters that live on email is the better for me. To be honest with you, it's you got to use all resources. You got to use phone. You got to use email. You got to use text. But the recruiters that purely just do email, good luck to you.
Okay, email as the first. No, he's not saying only email, but email as the point of first contact.
I mean, what I will do, I'll sit at night. I'll build my list. That I'm going to call call Thursday. Tonight I'll build my list tonight and I'll blast everyone an email, and then I'll call them. Then I'll call them tomorrow. I don't whether they get back to me or not. It's immaterial. It just the more they see your name, the better it is. You post on LinkedIn, you send an email, you send a text, whatever it is. And you leave your voicemail.
Okay, so you're hold on. You're telling a different story now. You use email first. That's your first contact.
No, I never said I didn't use email. You got to use email.
But that's your first. That's your first attempt. First you use
depends.
email.
If they're on my list, yeah, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But you know what? The point is, a lot of these guys that just use email, and feel free to tell me if I'm wrong, a lot of these guys that just use email only respond to those who get back to them on email or call them. I'm just saying, listen, I'm putting it out there because why wouldn't you? It takes 10 seconds. I mean, with my database, I can blast everyone, I want, send everyone a pre-made email that's addressed to them and, hey, Bill, hey, Bob, and, send them a thing and then call them the next day. The way I understand it, these guys that live on email, they're not using the phone. They're waiting for those people to get back to them.
Yeah, if someone calls them back, they don't pick up. Kathy, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. And I don't understand why you're trying to pigeonhole him into either emailing or calling, because he's doing exactly what a great recruiter would do. You use whatever you can, but I think the phone is what distinguishes a great recruiter from a mediocre recruiter.
Absolutely. If you're just living on passive candidates or active candidates that are sending you their stuff, you might as well just go back to Monster. A real recruiter's getting on the phone. They're selling people. They're getting people that are not active, and they're making. I mean, most of the people I place are passive candidates that didn't get back to my email. The vast majority, quite frankly.
Okay, let me ask about that. So you're sending. Let's say you're whamming out an email at nighttime, and then in the morning you're calling them. So what do you usually get back? An email or a phone call? Which one of those two draws the biggest response?
For quality, phone calls. For quantity, probably email. But I don't care about the quantity. Who cares if I get 100 people responding and 99 of them are turn out to be B players? Who cares? I'd rather call my top 50, bang through that list, know that these guys are studs. You know, I do this big mass email because you know what? Sometimes I just can't get through 300-400 resumes a night. So I can send them all an email. If they get back to me and they're actually good, then fantastic. If they're not good, I can have a 5-minute conversation, call it a day. I put on my email.
What software are you using for your email?
I use my database, Crelate.
Okay, and that puts in separate names for everybody. It changes the name.
Yeah, you can do the perfect mail merge.
Okay. And do you use texting?
Yep.
When?
So I use whenever I'm talking to the person. If I'm not getting their voicemail, or I have a bad number, or I've tried them on email, I can't get them, I'll shoot them a text. If it's a millennial, I try to text them first anyway. Well, I'll call them, but then I'll try to text them when I don't get them, because millennials are a whole special group, especially the under 35 set. But and so Crelate, you can text through Crelate now. They're just beta testing it now. But otherwise, they just
now that you're promoting Crelate on my show, I'm gonna do an ad for PC Recruiter. Okay. Hi everybody, recruiting animal here for PC Recruiter. Here's something I saw on Quora. You could tell from my conversation already that I read it and I like it. But this person said recruiting is fragmented. One recruiter is recruiting salespeople in the travel industry. Hey, come on, I gotta do my ad. I'll have to cut every single person off the show, okay? Hey, stop. Did someone put me on hold? And is that their hold music?
That's someone.
Rich,
it's not
you know what?
Not mine. I got good blues music. Jerry would like my hold music.
Let's go through everybody.
Do it. And then single them out. Let's embarrass this person globally.
Okay.
Come on.
Who is
Well, I'm going. Sometimes it's hard to figure out who these people are.
Hey, Animal. Animal,
yeah.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I've invited my friends from my world famous recruiting group to call into the show. So sometimes they don't know exactly how to do it. So don't be too hasty.
Here's the person. It's area code 203-428-0423.
Connecticut.
0423.
Yeah, Connecticut.
Okay, that's who it was. Thank you, everybody. Okay, back to my ad. Okay, now the ad is twice as long because I had to spend time getting rid of that jerk. Okay.
Jerry, you want to hear my blues? I got good blues music, Jerry. You want to hear my blues stuff? It's good stuff. You'll like it.
No, please. Let's. Yeah. I want to get on William Tincup's list of non-recruiters who have recruiting shows. Okay. I don't know if there was one recruiter on it. Everybody in HR, his buddies who speak at conferences. Look, one recruiter on Quora said you got somebody recruiting salespeople in the travel industry. Someone else is doing contract technical recruiting in the data space, and they're so different that one kind of software is not going to suit them both. That's what this person says, and to a certain extent it's true, but it's not true for PC Recruiter. PC Recruiter is good for all kinds of recruiting and all sorts of recruiting teams. And you know why? Michael G. Cox, why? Can you tell us? Where is he?
Configurable.
It's configurable. That's why. They don't impose their ideas on you. You get to shape the software to suit the way you work. And if you don't know how to configure it yourself, if you're stupid like me, they have a fabulous support team to help you. Every guest on this show who uses PC Recruiter says so. It doesn't matter if you're a solo recruiter or a member of a big team, big or small, we help them all. That's what PC Recruiter says. And here's what I say. If you're a recruiter, PC Recruiter loves you. So go check them out, please, at PCRecruiter.net. Okay, back to our fabulous guest, Rich Rosen, with all the people who've got the guts to speak out, Alan and our good friend Kathy and Jerry. Okay, now, but you know what? I was saying, big or small, we fit them all. Are you a solo recruiter, Rich Rosen, or do you have a virtual assistant? What's the story for you?
So I consider myself a solo recruiter. I have a part-time admin who lives in France, actually. And one of my clients just came to work for me like a month ago, one of my VPs of sales, one of my hiring managers, who just started. So, but, he pretty much is doing his own stuff. I'll give him a couple of jobs to work on, but, I like being solo, I got to tell you.
It doesn't sound like you. Sounds like you were solo. How did you hire the virtual recruiter in France? If someone wants to hire
Upworks.
a virtual,
I use Upworks. Upworks,
What's
you can
that?
go in, put what you're looking for, what kind of criteria you want, what you want to pay, what language you want them to speak, and they give you a list. And then you can interview them, see what they like.
How did you decide what was a suitable salary?
Because I didn't want to pay a lot. So I paid, this is what I wanted to pay. It's either you take it or don't. It was pretty simple. If I wanted to pay a lot, I'd use someone in the United States. If I didn't, I'd use someone overseas. Or she happens to be in the middle of nowhere, France. But for her, it's a good salary, so she's happy.
And how did you? How many responses did you get?
She's been with me like a year and a half now, so I don't remember. It was a lot. You can whittle it down pretty quickly, though. Yeah, you can whittle it down.
How did you whittle it down, and then how did you make a decision?
Ultimately, I whittled it down because I wanted people that spoke English and wanted to work for the salary I wanted to pay, or the hourly rate I wanted to pay. So
you wanted somebody who speaks English, so you hired somebody who lives in France. Makes good sense to me. But she's
from England, though. She's actually from England, so she happens to live in France. But I didn't need a whole lot of things done. I just wanted someone to go through. Basically, she'll clean up my inbox a little bit. Just if I get resumes in, just make sure I know that they're there. She'll send my invites out. She'll do a little research. But like if I have projects, I'm trying to build this like salary survey, so she's doing that. So I mean, she works like 30 hours a week, tops.
And how do you secure your data? Does she have access to your database?
Yeah, she has access to it. I can see everything she does. She even has access to my email. I mean, I didn't do that at first, but once I trusted her, I gave her access to everything. So,
And does she since she lives in France, does she phone people in the United States for you?
Nope, does nothing. She doesn't do. I mean, she the only thing she'll do, I'll get an invite. And I'll get a meeting request, and she'll send the invite out. She doesn't talk to anyone. So she's an introvert, very much so.
Okay, and so that sounds like does anybody else use a virtual assistant on here? I mean, I was really curious about how you hire them and how it works, and it sounds like it worked out great for you.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried them off and on over the years. It's tough. I mean, it's tough to find someone who has a good work ethic, and like honestly, I'm not the best manager. She's takes some initiative on certain things, a lot of times. I mean, she's done a good job. So, I mean, I move super fast, so I'm not great at delegating. So. Okay.
Now, let me ask a completely different question. What are you using, if anything, to verify email addresses? If you get someone's email address. Or let's say you guess what it is based on the other email addresses in the company. Do you use any software to verify it?
Yeah, I mean I'll use Email Hunter. I'll use emailformat.com. A lot of times I just go to Google and type in ABC, like whatever IBM's email address. And it comes up. But
you don't try to verify it before you use it, right? Like sometimes in a big company, there's a there's a number.
Yeah. No, what can I do? Like I just did a big email verification thing for like $20. I verified like 10,000 emails using
What did you use?
Mail. I think it was called MailGet.
Mail what?
And MailGet, GET.
Okay.
So it told me about 5,000 of my 10,000 were bad emails. So that was awesome.
Have you ever used a job board?
No. I mean, I've tried. No, I shouldn't say that. I mean, like 15, 20 years ago, I looked at them, but I've never paid for a job board. I've never put an ad on a job board. I think that's a waste. For my space, at least, it's a waste of time.
Okay. You've never put an ad on LinkedIn either? Have you put an ad on LinkedIn?
I mean, I do in my status. I write in my status. I've never paid for an ad in LinkedIn. In my status, I write what I'm looking for.
And have you ever got a response, a decent response?
Yeah, I get a lot of responses, but I find a lot of them are, sorry, I just got a text. I mean, I get a lot of responses. Some are great, some are bad. A lot of referrals, but I do it. Hopefully, I get someone good. But a lot of times, it's just a matter of getting your name out there. The more times they see you, the more times they think you're an expert.
Okay, and what about you? Post also your jobs. I noticed some of them on Twitter as well. Do you ever get any?
Side note: Rich does have 17,161 followers. That's pretty good.
Really?
17,450 at the moment, actually. I just
on LinkedIn.
Yes.
On LinkedIn. On LinkedIn.
First level connections.
How did you get that many?
I was like one of the first guys on LinkedIn. I think I was like in the first 100,000 people on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So I connect with everyone. At the end of the day, is if I'm talking to you, if I'm looking at your profile, I'll send you a note. That
didn't they used to give you like a LinkedIn user number?
Yeah.
Wasn't that like years ago?
Yeah, your member number.
Yeah. Whatever happened to that?
And then they tell you how many what percentage, like where you ranked in the viewership and whatever.
Yeah. They don't do that anymore, do they?
No, it was great because I used to put that on there, like the top 1% most viewed guy on LinkedIn. Figured it was some good advertising for marketing, for clients.
Yeah.
But I wish they did that. So that would be great.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
There used to be the most connected woman on LinkedIn. You could have, but I think you would have had a lot of competition for the most connected guy. But look, if you're connecting to so many people, don't you get lots of messages from people on the other side of the world, or pizza drivers who say, "Can you find me a job?"
I just ignore them, or it's one of the projects I'll have Mel, my admin, go do. Just ignore all the names you can't understand, and quite frankly, people that are on the other side of the world, people have nothing to do with software sales. If they're venture capital guys or finance guys or tech guys of some respect that make sense for me to network with, I'll connect with them.
Okay,
I used to never connect with internal recruiters. Now I connect to all the internal recruiters, so it was kind of a dumb mistake.
Okay, but you don't send messages to somebody and say, "Look, I'm sorry, I can't help you right now."
What, on LinkedIn?
Yeah, if they send you a message, I'm arriving in New York. I'm moving to the United States. Can you help me find a new position? Or just I'm in transition. I want to leave my current company. Can you help me?
Yeah, if it's got something to do with the stuff I work on, I'll respond to them and say, hey, got nothing
that's not my question.
If it's some schmo from selling sausages, no. No. I'm not going to waste my time.
You just don't reply.
Yeah, I'll ignore them. I'll just hit the ignore thing, and I won't connect with them.
Okay.
If they send me a message, and it's got nothing to do with my stuff, no, because they probably sent it to 9,000 other people too.
Okay, so you actually, sorry to belabor this, but it sounds like if they've got no relationship to what you do, you don't even connect with them. So you waste your time going through everybody's profile who asks you to connect. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying my admin wastes her time doing it.
Okay.
I'll do it too, but you can just, it takes 10 seconds. You look at these people, and it just says what they do, and you just click ignore. It doesn't take any real time. While you're talking on the phone, while you're waiting for someone to pick up, there's so much time in the day that I feel like most recruiters just waste, because you can really, I find it's a lot of BS. I think you can multitask. You can talk on the phone, you can wait for someone to pick up, and you can click ignore or accept, and then jump over back to your database without really missing a beat, and without burning too many brain cells.
Animal is just trying to deal with how do you not just want to attack somebody and tell them to take a hike, buddy? You've got nothing to do with me. That's what Animal. That's his natural reaction to anybody that wants to connect with him that doesn't really have any, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Am I right, Animal? Are you blown away that it's possible to not back somebody into a corner for being an idiot? That would take a lot of your time.
I don't know about you, but I don't know very many people that are hopeful about the world of work. And I'd like to change that. My name's Marcus Mossberger, and I started the Hope at Work podcast, where you'll find two things. Number one, really interesting guests. And number two, innovative ideas about the future of work. Check it out.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Jerry knows me.
Rich, quick question. Animal, if I may, quick question. So this is Rocky.
Who is it?
This is Rocky.
Rocky Ricardo
Thanks for
from the
having me
Lucy
again.
Show. Yeah. Come on.
Hey, Rich, quick question for you. Does your virtual assistant automate any of your business development processes when looking for, let's say, VCs? Okay.
It can't, like if I give her specific list, like go get me VCs or go get me the reps out of, names out of these profiles from LinkedIn or whatever, she'll go put them in my database, put them on my list. But no, like I said, I'm looking for better ways to use her. Quite frankly, that is not my strength whatsoever.
Got it. And if you don't mind sharing, what's your outreach to these VCs?
To VCs,
and do you have that automated yourself as well?
I have very little automated, to be honest with you. When I need jobs, I'll just blast some emails. I'll pick up the phone and call them. But I don't, honestly, there's probably, depending on the year, there's maybe like usually I find in my space like Q1, like February, March. That's when I'm kind of struggling trying to find more jobs or feel like I don't have enough things to work on. And then sometimes in September, but usually I've got enough things that are coming into me or enough old clients that are calling me that I don't do a ton of marketing, but it's something I'm trying to do more of, quite frankly. But when you're relatively solo, however you want to phrase it, you can. I've got like probably 30 jobs we're working on now. Probably even more because I've got one client's got 20 openings, so like legitimate openings. So you can only work on so many things, and so you just I don't do a ton of marketing anymore. I probably should.
Rocky,
I'm trying to make myself do more.
Rocky, do you have another question? Rocky.
Yeah. I got
a
couple.
second then. Well, here's what. I'll hold on to it. I'll let you ask. I just want you to hold on to it. I got to do an ad, okay? Got to make a little money.
I know.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Just hold yourself, Rocky. Okay. Hey, everybody. Recruiting Animal here for Hypertual. Hyretual. I'm going to talk about it the way my client talks about it. Hypertual, like chewy, chewy, chewy. You remember that song, Rich? Chewy, 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 chewy. You remember that? Chewy, 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 chewy. Chewy little candy wrapped up so very fine. Okay, Hypertual is the super. It's the super duper sourcing tool. That song I think got banned in some places. Now, what's the super duper sourcing tool? You tell it what you want, and it writes search strings for you. You don't have to be a Boolean genius. You go to Hypertual.com, Hyretual. You put in normal language what you want, and it does the search for you. It gives you back a slew of candidates ranked from top to bottom who matches your criteria. It also tells you, guesses what the salary range on these people are, who's most likely to be ready for a move. And when it does those searches, it doesn't search one site like LinkedIn. It searches Facebook, GitHub, and a whole bunch of sites at the same time. It saves you a lot of time by doing that stuff. Can't remember. I think it's Michael Krauss always says that. He says, saves me a bunch of time. Okay? So also, Hypertual is famous for giving you good contact info. And you can get a free Chrome extension to try it out at Hypertual.com. Hyretual. Nin Tran, the COO, is a great guy. He was a guest on the show a little while ago. He said I didn't give him enough time because I had another guy on, so he'll be back soon. So stay tuned for that. And now we're going back to a guest who was on just a while ago but wants to come on again, Rocky Ricardo. Next question for our guest, Rich Rosen. Please, go ahead, Rocky.
Yes. Actually, I was kind of curious. I know you target 1 to 100 million in recurring revenue. These startups or whatever. And I was kind of curious as to, are you retained on these searches for salespeople? And what kind of level of salespeople are you looking for, VP of sales or just, SDRs, whatever? And or are you just contingent and you're just, showing them what you got?
So most of my clients are sub 100 million. I got a few others, but no, I do mainly contingent, to be honest with you. But I only work with clients that, have a little respect for what we do and have, understand the time parameters of how things have to move. And, I work my searches like a retained company probably would, but I do it all in contingent. I hate fighting over contracts. So I just like to get the contract in and done. And if I don't like them, I can move on. And the hardest part of this job right now in this market is guessing, which company to work with. Like last year, I know for a fact, I passed on over 70 different companies to work with. Like I had agreements and either dropped them or decided not to even push the agreement forward, just because they were a pain in the butt. So, you got to be selfish with your time.
How do you decide they're a pain in the butt? Because I remember you told us that before, that you don't hesitate to fire clients or just say I don't want to work with you.
Well, if they're wasting my time, especially if it's a contingent search and if delays getting back to me, they don't give you any feedback. You have to work through the internal recruiters and go and get no insight whatsoever. You're just flipping resumes over. Like I've got a lady going for a final next week. She literally started the process in January, right? And she called me, and every time I talked to her, I said, "Listen, I just apologize. It's a great company to work for. They're just their whole interview process is, quite frankly, a bit of a mess." And I have no insight to it because it's a great company, but it's bad for my recruiting reputation. I just tell them flat out. I tell the candidate flat out. I tell the client how ridiculous it is. I even wrote a letter to the CEO and the head of HR saying, like, listen, man, we got to fix this process. You got 35 openings, and you're dying, But that's how they want to do it. So that was a unique example. I flipped a bunch of candidates in there, told them exactly what the situation was going to be, and I'm like, call me when you get placed, because otherwise I have zero insight for you. But that's
okay. So you don't know. You don't know.
Well, let me finish. Hang on.
Okay.
But if I get a normal company, where if I don't have access to the hiring manager, I won't work it. If they have some ridiculous agreement, like BMC used to wanted you to sign an agreement that said you couldn't, even if you hired someone that was had a relative that worked for the company, I wouldn't work with. They ended up signing my contract. If there's something crazy like that, it's got to be a partnership. If they're not interested in a long-term partnership, I'm generally not interested in working with them. I don't care about one deal. I want to work on a lot of deals.
Okay, but it sounded like first you invested a lot of time in a search, and then when they showed their colors by dragging their feet or something like that, and so then you had to kiss them off.
No,
so you'd already wasted a lot of time.
No, because with this one particular example, that company, I had an NPC, I had a person all ready to rock, and they kind of told me how it is, and I'm like, all right, listen, I had a hiring manager there that I could talk to. Otherwise, they really didn't want me talking to them. So I had these people on my plate, or if I found them in another search, I flip them in there, and I would tell them the story.
Okay.
And that's
but
it.
How do you not alienate the client when you write to the CEO and say they're doing a lousy job?
Because I don't care. What am I losing? I'm losing a potential fee that I have zero control over. I'm not going to spend any time on it. If I find a candidate that, if I find a candidate for job A, but he's also a fit for job B, maybe I'll tell him about it. Maybe I won't. If my A client passes on it, maybe I'll flip him over to the B client. It doesn't cost me any extra time. And if I don't make anything, who cares?
Yeah, okay. Do you often send out the same candidate at the same time to multiple companies, or do you just say, this is the, I'm sending this candidate out to company A, and if it doesn't work out, I'll send her to company B, or is it send it them out to 5 companies at the same time?
It depends on my relationship with the company. If it's someone where I know I really have an exclusive and they've given me a ton of business, I'll be pretty loyal to them. If they're loyal to me, I'll be loyal. I'll gladly return the loyalty. If I'm just one of 15 recruiters working on it, no, I don't give a crap. I'll send them out to everyone.
Rich, are these chief sales officers, SVPs, sales?
No, they're
reps.
These your hiring managers? The other question. No, these are individual contributors.
Okay.
I do everything. I'll do some inside sales, but I don't like doing inside sales. But I'll do some. I'll do sales engineers. I'll do reps. I'll do directors, VPs, CEOs.
Got it. And when you're reaching out to these chief sales officers, what's your typical pitch? How do you get them? Do you get them on the phone? You interact with them on Twitter. What's the secret sauce?
Yeah, I don't ever use Twitter except for the animal here. I never even look at Twitter. I'll call them up. I'll shoot them an email. I'll call them up and say, hey, listen, I've got this great guy that's done A, B, and C. When can you see him? So
got it.
It was, I don't think there's any real secret sauce to this business. I think it's just It's saying things. I guess with the secret sauce would just be say stuff with energy, say it with passion, say it with some excitement. I mean, I talk to so many recruiters so muffled. I use a speakerphone all day long. Even now I'm on a speakerphone. I'm like 2 feet away from it. But if you're loud, you're excited. That gets other people excited, and especially with sales guys, it gets them excited. Everyone starts loving each other. And the next thing you know.
Rocky, lots of these things are covered in the first interview we did with Rich. It's great. You should take a look at it as well.
I'm sorry,
okay?
I dialed in 10 minutes after.
Oh no!
Okay,
No, these are great questions. No, I love the questions you're asking. Don't know, but he was on before. This is his second time, and usually I forget what people said from one to the other, but I know we covered a lot of this stuff, and it's worth listening to. That's William Tincup might not think the Recruiting Animal Show is very good, but that episode is a good episode. Okay, I'm going to swear. I'm going to swear
we'll
by
it. And
I'm going to do another ad, final after the show. Okay, everybody. Hey, Recruiting Animal here for Honeit, HONEIT. Okay, the information technology company. Interview information. No. Honeit is the phone interview technology. Hey, he might not pay me for that, okay? I'm not going to edit the show to get that out either. Honeit is the phone interview technology. It automatically schedules, records, and transcribes your phone call so you can enjoy every conversation without taking notes and never miss a detail. Here's what it does. He sent me a script I told you last time. I don't like his script. Too bad, Nick. You can leave if you don't like the way I do it, okay? Here's what it does. Both the candidate and the recruiter call in to the interview, just like a normal phone call. The only thing is, it records the conversation, so you don't have to worry about missing anything. If you can't type fast, it doesn't matter. Then it turns that recording, that audio recording, into a transcription, so you can read it, and you can search keywords, and you can pass all that stuff around to other people in the company. Plus, if you have some really key questions, before you get to them, you press a button, and then when you finish the question and the answer, you press another button. It isolates them as clips that you can send to the hiring manager or anybody else involved, and they can hear the candidate in his or her own words describe something. And you know what? If you're a recruiter, you're not an expert in every position. You might not understand everything the candidate is telling you. Doesn't matter. The other guy, the tech expert, the professional expert, subject matter expert, they can listen to it and they will understand. I think it's really an exciting thing. So go check it out at HONEIT.com. Nick Livingston, are you on the line and do you want to yell at me for this ad, or can we just move ahead? Okay. He's often listening, and you're getting it early today, 12:47 instead of 12:55. Okay. Anybody else got Rich, is there something that you want to tell a young recruiter like Rocky that, for instance, you hired somebody. What did you say? A VP of sales? Now he or she is a recruiter? Is that what you were telling us?
Yeah, he went from being a client to a recruiter, hiring manager to a recruiter. I have guys from it.
Why? Why?
That's what I keep asking him. To be honest with you, that was it was kind of an interesting choice. I think he was just sick of the corporate world, but thought he'd give this a try because he just paid me a bunch of money, and he's been in, like I said, a couple of weeks now, and he's I'm curious to see how get his feedback in a couple of more weeks.
Okay,
he got close in a couple of deals, and they got kicked down below. So,
hold on. He's a salesperson though already. He's got experience in sales. Is that what
he's a 30-year veteran? He's a 30-year sales guy, software sales guy, and VP of sales.
Okay, so he understands it very well, and he's recruiting in his own profession. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
You consider that a great asset?
In fact, I had him recruit on his company he just left. It's where he did his first. He was working on his first search. Didn't work out, but it wasn't his fault. It was the company's fault, which is one of the reasons why he was moving on, I'm guessing. But
okay, but you said
it definitely helps. Yeah, it helps.
How are you training?
Go ahead. I told him he's working virtual. He's in Florida, I'm in Boston, And for me, he's got more sales experience than I do. So I told him, listen, I can help you do recruiting. I gave him all the questions to ask, but he's a sales guy. I'm not sure what I can teach a 30-year veteran sales guy if he doesn't know it now. I can help. I help correct him on certain things, tweak what he's done. He writes, fantastically. So his emails are probably better than mine. And it's just this job is all about just getting on the phone. When I was a young recruiter, when I started, it was just banging the phones. You didn't have email, so it was calls, and more calls, and that's it. I still think that. Despite everyone's email, fetish, I still think calls are the best way to go.
Okay, but hold on a second. You said this guy's got 30 years, but you yourself, after weren't you the top recruiter in your office after you'd only been in the job 6 months? Isn't that one of your claims to fame?
Yeah, every month I made 2 deals, 10 days on the job. Made 40
yeah, okay.
grand.
So the number of years doesn't mean anything, okay?
No, it's the attitude.
And why did you give this person? I hope he's not listening. I have no intention. I don't know you. Exactly. I have no intention of insulting you. Why did you give him orders to work instead of saying pick some up? You're in the business. You understand it. If only I had his knowledge. Go ahead.
Yeah, honestly, I wanted to get his feet wet, and I had so many jobs to work on that I needed. It was just nice to have an extra set of, an extra voice on the phone to get stuff going. And we've got so many deals right now that I don't need him to get jobs. I actually mentioned to him about a week and a half ago, start thinking about it, just to see who he's got for multiple reasons, but. The end of the day is right now, I don't need any more jobs.
Okay. Let me move on. We're running out of time, and I want to ask you a few questions. Automated sourcing. A guy named Bill Smith said, I see a lot of people talking about automating their sourcing and generating candidate leads. I have no idea how to do this or even get started. Can someone shine some light on this for me? Sounds like you're not interested in that at all. Am I right about that based on what you said?
No, I think automation's awesome. I just don't. I have yet to find a way that actually makes it accurate and saves any time. I try every tool I see. I try. Like for Pinnacle, I'm on the tech committee. I love trying new technologies. But for making my life easier, I just haven't found any that save me enough time to make it worthwhile. Because the time you get the string in there, great. Now I still have a giant list of people to go through. I could have just done that to begin with. On LinkedIn for sales guides, they're on LinkedIn.
Okay, but Nick Livingston, my sponsor, he said you can do a lot of damage to your brand or to your client's brand with bulk email marketing tools to automate hiring. You're doing bulk email
I'm doing bulk email,
right?
But I don't put company names in it.
But your name is in it. Your name is in it.
Hey, what the joy of placing sales guys are? If they're that thin-skinned and they're going to get pissed off about simple things like getting an email, they're probably not that good. It's just that simple.
Animal, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Ernie Moreno.
Ernie Moreno. Were you joking about is the show on today after Jerry posted his announcement that it's on at noon?
I was asking. Hey,
go ahead.
Hey, I wanted to ask Rich, one of the things I've learned from Rich is the send-outs. Mm-hmm. You have this thing on do a send out a day. Could you elaborate on that and tell me how you came to that goal?
When I started MRI, it was kind of what was drilled into you. You wanted, I always just, if you get 5 send outs a week, which depending on the economy isn't that hard. Right now it shouldn't be that hard. You get 1 a day, whatever. Maybe you get 5 in a day. You look at your numbers. You got, if it takes you 3 send-outs to get an interview, well, then you need, and then let me back up. You know how many send-outs it takes to get an interview? How many interviews does it take to get the guy hired? So, if for me, it's like I think that's pretty much like every resume I send out gets an interview. It's very like 99% of my guys that I send out are getting interviewed. So, if I send a guy out, he's getting interviewed. For every 3 interviews I send out. Or I set up, first interviews I set up, they're generally someone's going to get an offer. So you can kind of back your numbers out that way if you want to set your goal.
Welcome to Don't Tell Me About Yourself, the podcast where old school hiring meets a modern reality check. I'm Lorna Erickson. And I'm Victoria Gates, and we're the co-founders of Expert Interviewers. Between the two of us, we've got 40 years of hiring experience. We've studied interviewing techniques. We've trained thousands of people globally to stop making the same mistakes over and over again. And we've got 340,000 people following us online because apparently everyone has a story about a bad interview. You know the ones. The illegal questions, the 45-minute monologues, showing up late with no apology. So every week, we're tackling the biggest subjects in hiring. We bring real stories, real data, and real talk about how to make interviews actually work for everyone. Because great hiring isn't luck, it's a practice skill. So whether you hire, apply, or just love a good interview train wreck, the show is for you.
Yeah.
Okay. But then I get to 3 weeks, so right before I went on vacation, I had 32 send-outs that week. I just got I think I'm on my 6th offer in the last 2 weeks right now. It was killer.
You know, Andre
Knight. Numbers looking
wait a second. Wait a second. Andre Knight is listening to the show. Andre, she says Animal Show has been taken over by Rocky Recruiter, and it's working.
That's right.
You know what? If I didn't give him the chance, then they'd say he doesn't give anybody a chance to talk. He's a big mouth himself. If I give somebody a chance, he can't do the show himself. He's got to rely on his callers. I can't win. Ernie, that was a long, tedious answer. Do you have something more exciting?
No. I was just gonna say because I started talking to Rich and asking him for some advice, and I started doing what he said. Have one send out, and over the last couple of weeks, I've gotten almost three placements. You know, I'm close. I got clobbers, and it's wow, this is
pretty soon you'll be a millionaire like him. Let's ask you. There's almost no time left. There's 5 minutes left. Rich, if you call somebody up and you get the person's like a smart person, like you said, he or she picks up the phone and you say, "Hi, it's I'm assuming you're very direct and say it's Rich Rosen. I'm a headhunter. I'm working on a position I'd like to talk to you about." Person says, "I'm happy where I am. I'm not interested." What do you do? Do you rebut them?
Yeah, no, I say that's great. I mean, listen, most of the people I talk to are happy. You know, there's a couple things to say. It depends how they say it and how much of a rush they're in. But if they say, "Hey, listen, I'm happy, I'm not looking," well, that's great. You know, I'll say, "What makes you, why? What's so great?" I love finding people that are happy at their company. And then, they'll either give you a fluffy answer, which is BS, or else, and then if they kind of fluff it, I'll say, "Listen, I talked to 10 other guys from your company, and I know there's a ton of stuff going on over there. Are you truly the one person that's happy?" Or I'll say, "Listen, that's great if you're happy, but let me ask you, who do you know? Who would you hire? If you were hiring someone today for this, if you were going to hire a sales guy today, who would you hire?"
I don't know anybody, Rich. I don't know anybody.
They're sales guys. They all know someone. So listen, they say they don't know someone. That's fine. Yeah. They say they don't know it. So great, you got to know someone. Who's your competitor? Who's the guy in the office you'd love to get rid of then? If you don't know any good sales guys, which I find hard to believe, there's got to be someone. You try to ask them 3 times. If they, and if they still give you nothing, then you just whatever, it's fine. You move on. You mark them down as useless, and go to the next guy.
Okay. So
Rich, I got the last question of the show.
No.
Real quick.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a sec. Now let me finish. You're a pushy head. You're a pushy head.
I'm not pushy. People love me, man. I'm not pushy. I'm pushy with the clients more than the candidates.
Okay. Now, here's my question. I'll let Ernie ask the question, but my question that maybe next time you come back, you'll tell us, some people say, I don't want to persuade people. I just educate them. I'm wondering if you sell people on jobs they're not sure of. We'll ask that another time. Ernie, go ahead.
No, I had no more questions. I think he's a great guy to listen to and to follow, and I do appreciate him.
Thanks, Ernie.
Thank you.
Hold on. Did you arrange for this guy to close the show by kissing your ass? I mean, time.
No, that's not it.
It's going to be my whole music from now on, I think.
That's right. But you start listening to what he says, and you got to listen to a guy that makes $1 million.
Yeah, okay, he's great. Why do you praise me for getting him on the show and doing a great show? Animal, I love this show. Animal, it's great. I'm going to listen to it 20 times. Here's the last question.
I listen to it and I listen to the blog.
Now's your time to be quiet. Here's the last question. If they say, "Rich, how much?" You say, "I've got a position." Rich says, "I'm Rich Rosen. I got a position for you." And they say, "How much?" What's your answer?
Well, tell me what's going on in your situation. I mean, I don't generally like to answer their first question. I want to get a little info for them. If it's just about the money, I'm generally not interested in them. It's that simple.
And you tell them that?
And I tell them.
You tell them?
Yeah. I mean, listen, if your only reason to making a move is you're just going to break my heart later. So, I've seen that song, seen the dance, seen the movie, no interest in doing that. So if you want to have a conversation, love to talk to you, love to see what's going on, why we're even talking. Is it purely about the money? You're just curious about the client? Because then if I know something about their company, I'll tell them, listen, I mean, I know there's a lot of things going on in your situation, in your company. I don't know if it's affected you or not, but it's probably coming. We should be talking. And if they're still about the money,
by telling this person that you've talked to everybody else in the company, you're revealing a secret, okay? I mean,
I don't
you
say I talked to everyone else. I didn't say everyone else. I said other people. And some of these companies are, they may be Oracle with, 50,000 employees. Who cares?
I got one other question. This is Ernie again. If when you get a new client, do you always lead with a candidate? You market a candidate to them, or you just call them up for a new client? 99%
of the time, I'll call with a candidate. Here's someone that I heard you may be looking for a senior sales guy, or heard you may have an opening here. I've got this great guy that's done A, B, and C.
So where do you know those openings are?
I don't.
Do you look at LinkedIn, or do you just call them? No idea.
I have absolutely no idea. I know it's a company that I saw they got funding, or there's some news article on them, and I'll just assume.
Okay.
That's that's the whole thing. The reason you can do so much volume is if you stop thinking about every single thing you need to do and you just do it. Stop worrying about the person's right or not. Pick up the phone and call them. Who cares? They're not right.
I like
call.
that.
If they're right,
just do it. Don't worry if he doesn't care if they don't like him. I mean, he doesn't like to admit it, but that's the obvious truth.
At the end of the day, listen, I want people to like me. They generally do. I'm not rude. I'm not mean to people, but I also don't waste their time or my time. And sales guys appreciate it.
Okay.
That's the difference.
No, the questions are over. It's time to go. Ernie Marino, he'll come back.
Animal
All the more reason to come back. Ernie Marino, Rocky Ricardo, Alan Floor, Kathy Manis, Jerry, Michael G. Cox, who helped me with the ad, and Rich Rosen. Guys, I have to say, no banning on this show. Nobody's that bad. And you know what?
Here's the deal. The dude is full of negative energy, and I'm just saying, I simply don't. The after show is not about negativity. It's not about
Gary? Gary, if you open your eyes, you'd see he talks to you just like you talk to me. It's constantly, Animal is an idiot. Everything he says is nonsense. I used to like the show, but now it's nothing. I don't kick you off.
Hey.
I don't kick you off the show, and you're not going to kick him off, okay?
Hey, I just don't need it. If he is ready to say that he's done with it, then I embrace his participation.